Salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott, and you, my dear friends, have wandered on to the Prog Corner, where today we got a solar eclipse happening, so hopefully I'll be done with this in time to get outside and actually witness a solar eclipse. Today I am doing my favorite double albums. Somebody in the comments pointed out the other day that I had never done this, so I had nothing prepared today. I'm working on my Straubs ranking. Not quite there yet, so I figured I'd knock this out real quick just because, A, it's something awesome to do, and B, I haven't done it before, so let's get going, man. First of all, I'm not going to be doing like Blonde on Blonde or Exile on Main Street or Songs in the Key of Life or Tusk, although Tusk is a really good album, man. Springsteen's The River, Electric Ladyland. No live albums. We're going to be looking at solely studio albums. So that really does kind of, the double album concept is really a 70s thing. It's a vinyl-driven thing. You get into the CD era, and, the CD can hold like 79 minutes of music. So that's a double album right there. So the whole double album thing got diluted and, kind of washed away. So most of these... I think all of these, most of these are from the 70s. I think one or two's from the 80s, but couple of, I got some honorable mentions I need to mention here at the beginning. Swans the Seer didn't make the list, but absolutely could have. Mike Oldfield's incredible Incantations. What a great double album that is. Cardiacs, Sing to God. Oh, yeah. Absolutely phenomenal. Captain Beefheart's Trout Mask Replica, for sure. How about Amanduel's Yeti? Absolutely. Electric Light Orchestra, Out of the Blue. Miles Davis, Bitches Brew, Aphrodite's Child, 666. Absolutely, why not? Marillion almost got in with Marbles because I love that album. And, Zappa had a bunch of double albums, but I'm going to put Joe's Garage in my honorable mentions. But here we go. Here are my 20 favorite Prog or Prog adjacent, whatever, double albums of all time. I'm starting at number 20 with Todd Rundgren, Something, Anything. Oh yeah, this is the album where Todd started really spreading his wings and doing a lot of really cool, interesting stuff. What a great album. Shortly after this, he would go on just an amazing tear with records like Wizard of True Star and Todd Rundgren's Utopia, but it kind of all starts here with his progressive songwriting, and what a phenomenal record. There he is. There's Todd. Great. Number 20. At number 19, you could argue these guys aren't Prog and have absolutely nothing to do with Prog, and you're probably right, but I love this album, so I'm including it. It's the Minutemen, Double Nickels on a Dime. Yeah, they do cover Steely Dan on this album. They do a cover version of Dr. Wu, but this is just phenomenal. If you don't know Minutemen, you absolutely need to do yourself a favor. Check them out. They're called Minutemen because most of their songs are about a minute long, but also because they're, supercharged political type of lyrical content in here. Ultra, uber lefty stuff, but who cares, man? It's Minutemen. They're absolutely phenomenal. George Hurley, Mike Watt, the late great D. Boon, absolutely at number 18. Here's another one you could argue about its Prog bona fides, but side one argues for its inclusion with the, Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding. But, this whole album is dynamite. You got to include it when you're talking about the greatest double albums of all time. And hey, Mike Portnoy loves this album too. So, if that's not Prog, I don't know what is at number 17. Oh, yeah, this one doesn't really look great it's a white album. It is the White Album. Yeah, it's the Beatles' White Album. The grandpa of all double albums, right? I mean, this is kind of where you realize what a double album is supposed to be, and that's just, when you want to just expand your sound and go off into a million different directions that you probably wouldn't do in a single album. Well, that whole concept, that whole idea, everything that a double album is supposed to be kind of started here with this white chunk right here. I love this album. I love the Beatles. We'll be doing a Beatles episode real soon, kids. Yes, we will. At number 16, we're going to Canada, and Godspeed You, Black Emperor, and Lift Your Skinny Fists Like Antennas to Heaven. Yeah, I always get that name wrong, so I had to read it. 4 sides, 4 songs, just like Oldfield's Incantations, just like Tales from Topographic Oceans. I love Godspeed You Black Emperor. Are they prog? Of course they're prog. It's progressive rock. What's more progressive than 4 20-minute songs and calling that an album? Absolutely. At number 15, let's go to the Netherlands and Focus 3. Obviously, their third album. This came hot on the heels of them having quite a bit of success with their second album, Moving Waves, and that yodeling song that was getting a lot of attention around the world. Here they stretch their legs out and they get into some really weird improv stuff, some jazzy kind of stuff. Just a lot of different flavors on this album. It is absolutely dynamite. And it's got a hit on there too. It's got Sylvia on there. So it's got a little something for everybody. At number 14, let's talk about an album. 4 sides, 4 songs. Yeah, it's Soft Machine third. If you're doing a double album, that seems to be a really cool format, right? You got 4 sides. Let's just do 4 songs. And yeah, what songs are we talking about here? How about Facelift, Slightly All the Time, Moon and June, and Out Bloody Rages? Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, the production isn't great on this, but it fits the music perfectly, and it is one of my favorite double albums of all time, absolutely. At number 13, let's go with Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti. I personally don't like this one as much as Houses of the Holy, but it functions as a double album. It's like a clearinghouse. You know, you put everything in the kitchen sink on your double album, all the different styles, all the different flavors, and you get all of that here. To me, the highs are about as high as Zeppelin ever got, but some of the lows on here, yeah, I don't love this album all the way through, but man, oh man, when you're talking about the best double albums of all time, you got to talk about Physical Graffiti. You absolutely have to. Yes, at number 12, from Germany, it's Can and Tago Mago. Yeah, we just lost the great Damien Suzuki about a month ago. What a terrible loss. And this is their stone cold masterpiece, Tago Mago. I just love this album. I love the artwork. Right, it's so cool. I'm not a huge krautrock guy, but I am really starting to appreciate bands like Can and Amundul 2 and Faust and Neu and all that stuff. And I really dig this album a lot. Not what I normally listen to, right? It's not capital P prog, but it is just amazing, just awesome. At number 11, the much maligned Works Volume 1 from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Came out in 77 after they took a little hiatus. They toured this thing with the 60-piece orchestra and the 30-voice choir that I actually got to see in Milwaukee. Just such a great show. 4 sides. Side 1 is Emerson's side. Side 2 is Greg's side. Side 3 is Carl's side. But we come here for side 4, man. Fanfare for the Common Man and Pirates. Absolute perfection. The last bit of great pure greatness from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, found right here on Works Volume 1. At number 10, yeah, we're in the top 10 double albums of all time. How about Pink Floyd's The Wall? Yeah, man, you saw the movie. You know you did. You love this thing. I am of opinion that maybe it should have been a single album. I think it would have been one of their better albums if it were a single album. I think there's just a little bit too much meandering going on here. But I love this album. I really do. I consider it an absolute essential piece of the prog rock puzzle. And yeah, the movie made millions and millions of dollars and everybody saw that. At number 9, an album I've never talked about on the channel and I'm really shocked that I haven't. It's Jesus Christ Superstar, the original soundtrack. This thing came out before it was a stage play, so originally the whole idea was just to put it out as a standalone record. It is prog. You know, you got Ian Gillan playing Jesus, so that's pretty prog to me. But yeah, finally when they saw how excited people were about this project, they rushed and did the movie and all this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, but Jesus Christ Superstar, Rice and Weber, this is prog, this is awesome, absolutely, and I got it at number 9. At number 8, another album I've never talked about on the channel. I've showed it a couple times in the background, and every time I show it, somebody's like, oh man, I love that album. How about Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds? Yeah, man, this came out at a time when kind of, prog really wasn't hot. What was it, 78, I think this thing came out. But it just hit the sweet spot. The cool storytelling, a la, Journey to the Center of the Earth or something like that. But some great, great songwriting on here. You even get Justin Hayward on here. He had a hit. From this album, just a really, really cool late era prog album from that golden age. And if you haven't heard this album, you need to check it out. It is tons of fun. I love it. At number 7, an album that maybe shouldn't be here. Is it a real album? Well, I've got Jethro Tull's Living in the Past. Yeah, it's a compilation album, so maybe it shouldn't belong here, but I didn't say anything about compilation albums, so they're fine. I love this thing, man. It is just chock full of great songs all the way through. Living in the Past, the song was written and recorded in 69, but it finally got popular, and it became a big, big hit in the U.S. in 72 because of this release, and yeah, I love it. I love it, man. 72 is a great year for Tull. They put this thing out. They put out Thick as a Brick. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And now we've got number 6. I've got XTC, English Settlement in the U.S. This was dropped as a single album, which absolutely broke my heart, brought tears to the eyeballs. Luckily, I was working in a record store and we had a good import section, so I was able to snag the right copy, because you can't drop songs like Yacht Dance off this album and expect it to be any good. Come on, man. It needs to be a double album. And here it is in all its glory. Just love XTC. Yes, they are prog rock, and shame on you, Prog Archives, for not including XTC in your database. Shame on you. You're dead wrong. And now we're going to the top 5, people. At number 5, another album that Steven Wilson recently remixed. It's Chicago 2. Oh, what a cool band. Their first album was a double album. Their second album was a double album. Their third album was a double album. Their fourth album was like a triple live album, and then, they finally decided they'd go to single albums with the Chicago 5 and 6, but Chicago 2 is the one right here, man. I dig this thing. The side 2 suite, what is it? Ballad for a Girl from Buchanan. Just one of the greatest prog suites ever written. Cool album cover. Just a fantastic record. If you don't know Chicago's prog era, do yourself a favor, man. Chicago was not only a prog band, but they were a protest band. They were a jazz rock band. They were a lot of different things, and that's about as progressive as I can think of, absolutely. At number 4, I got to include this one. I know it's not prog in any way, shape, or form. I apologize in advance, but I got to put London Calling in my list because it's awesome. It's spectacular. It's perfect. It's phenomenal. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. How could I do an episode about double albums and not include London Calling? Is it prog? No, sorry, Bob, it is not. But I don't care, man. I had to include it in my list. I really did. Now, here we go, boys and girls. At number 3, I've got Quadrophenia, and it could have been Tommy. I love Tommy almost equally. Quadrophenia is a little proggier than Tommy. A little more orchestration, a little more brass, a little more, the instrumentation is just a little bit more diverse on here. The songwriting's a little more mature. The storytelling's a little bit better. The Tommy story's a little weird and convoluted, but this one here is just awesome. I love it. The movie was terrible, but I love this record, 1973. Is it prog? Absolutely, it's prog. There's not a single doubt in my mind that Quadrophenia is prog. At number 2, I think you guys know what my top 2 is, so I don't need to spend a whole lot of time going through it. At number 2, it's The Lamb. Absolutely. It's phenomenal. It's perfect. I don't care what anybody says about there being filler and whatnot. It's a double album. It's supposed to be a little more expansive, etc., etc. And that goes for my number 1 also. It's supposed to be expansive. It's a double album. You know what it is, clowns. It's the greatest album in the history of mankind. It's Tales from Topographic Oceans. Absolutely, again, another album with 4 sides, 1 song per side, but what songs, man. Anybody that says that this should have been, whittled down to a single album has got earwax in their ears, and they need to clean that stuff out real quick, because that's not good for you at all. Very harmful, and I care about you guys, right? I care about your health, your physical health, and your mental health, right? And that is why I'm gonna, go outside and, watch the eclipse. I'm very excited. I've never seen one, so it's gonna be awesome. Anyway, hopefully tomorrow I'll be ready with my Straub's rankings. A lot of albums by those guys, a few I had never heard, so I want to do my due diligence. You know how that goes. And then Sunday, the Sunday Prog Stream Fools. It's going to be a good one as we rank the top 10 Marillion albums. Songs, not albums. We're doing songs. We're doing the top 10 Marillion songs. Anyway, there you go, kiddies. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Peace in the Middle East. Free the Ukraine, and God save the king. God save him. He ain't no human being. He made you a moron. Potential H-bomb. Oh, those tourists are money. Yes, they are. And they're all rolling into Bellefontaine, Ohio today to see the eclipse. Yeah, man. I love you guys. Peace.